Warm up into the low 60s Saturday afternoon. Sunday's much more pleasant with more sunshine and mid and upper 60s. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. Stay dry. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Happening now at Randy Marion Ford Chevrolet in Statesville.
How about a new car, truck, or SUV? What a better way to start 2024 than at Randy Marion Chevrolet in Statesville. Randy Marion Ford Lincoln taking advantage of a special purchase of 2023 Mazda CX-30s. These are the carbon editions starting at $24,770. You pick the color. Here today, Randy Marion Chevrolet in Statesville, Randy Marion Ford Lincoln. We have got the king of price deal. Like always, 2024, come see them today.
Local leaders, top stories, the news that matters most to you. The News Drive at 5 with host Patrick Reynolds starts now.
Good afternoon and welcome to the News Drive at 5 here at WSIC News Talk Radio. Patrick Reynolds taking you home on this March the 1st, 2024, 5:06 p.m. Eastern Time on the Eastern Seaboard. Welcome to all of you on this Friday. Hope you had a great week and are having a safe trip home. And it is 5 o'clock hour. You just heard a 2-hour block of health here on WSIC News Talk. Every Friday at 3 p.m. is the L Show with Dr. Nicole Eastman. And at 4 p.m. on Fridays, longtime supporter of WSIC News Talk, Dr. Fred Lowry hosts Health Talk right here. So you've got a great Friday afternoon lineup of good health, things to get you fit, feeling good for the weekend. WSIC News has you informed and educated and hopefully entertained a little bit. News Drive at 5 right now with your local headlines. Our top 5 at 5 stories for you tonight that we are tracking. The Iredell County Sheriffs Office arrested a drug dealer. The Cats buses appear to be shrinking. Sports betting is coming closer to the Carolinas. Statesville Fire Department has been recognized for its excellence. And Carolina's first professional rugby team is set for its first match. All these and more upcoming on the News Drive at 5 to get your voice heard. We'd love to hear from you. 844-STUDIO-4, 844-788-3464. Get you a call right here live on air if you want to let your voice be heard. Our top story tonight, beginning the News Drive at 5 headlines. Iredell County Sheriff's Office narcotics investigators executed a search warrant in northwest Statesville. This search warrant concluded an investigation into the distribution of crystal methamphetamine in that area and the arrest of William Lambert. In January of 2024, Iredell County Sheriff's Office narcotics investigators received information about the possibility of William Lambert distributing crystal methamphetamine in the area. Narcotics investigators began conducting surveillance operations, which confirmed the information. Undercover investigators were able to purchase crystal meth directly from Lambert while at the residence. Based upon the evidence, the investigators were able to obtain a search warrant for the home. When the warrant was executed, Lambert was inside the residence. The search located crystal meth, marijuana, and 2 semi-automatic pistols, also 3 long guns, and an assorted amount of ammunition. Lambert was arrested without incident and transported to the Iredell County Detention Center, where he was charged with felony intent to sell or deliver a Schedule II controlled substance, felony maintain a vehicle or dwelling for the sale or use of a controlled substance, and misdemeanor possession of Schedule VI controlled substance. Lambert then appeared before Magistrate Imes, who issued a $7,000, $500 secure bond on these charges. In an update from yesterday's story, Davidson businesswoman Trudy Zangardi has been arrested on felony tax charges filed by the North Carolina Department of Revenue. Zangardi was charged with 3 counts of aid and embezzlement of state property. Indictments allege that Zangardi, sole member of the Zan Group, aided and abetted 3 businesses to embezzle, misapply, and convert to its own use approximately $59,700 in sales tax from January 1st, 2020 through March 31st, 2022. She was the owner-operator of the Lake Norman Cottage and the cabin, both of which have new owners in the past year. Zangardi appeared before a Mecklenburg County magistrate and was placed under a $50,000 secured bond. A first court appearance is scheduled for March 15th, 2024 in Wake County Superior Court in Raleigh. Both the cabin and the cottage are operating as usual. They are located in the same complex as North Harbor Club in Davidson. Yesterday, Zangardi was incorrectly identified as the current owner of the cabin and the cottage. Well, 3 former inmates at the Mecklenburg County Jail are suing Sheriff Gary McFadden and Clerk of Superior Court Eliza Chin Gary over allegations about undue extra time behind bars. In the latest development in a federal suit, first filed in May, claimed hundreds of people across North Carolina were unlawfully detained because of a new records and case management system that brought controversy to a number of courthouses. By using the system e-courts and not checking behind themselves, McFadden and Chin Gary were negligent and acted with recklessness, the suit says. Before e-courts came to Charlotte, McFadden met with others in the criminal justice system and shared concerns about his staff using the system. Still, he didn't put in a fail-safe, and more than 60 people were unconstitutionally held at the jail in just 4 days. After first agreeing to an interview, McFadden declined on Wednesday and said that his legal staff advised against speaking. The office that was overseeing e-courts roll out the North Carolina Administrative Office of the Courts, and the vendor it hired to create the software, Tyler Technologies, are also defendants. So are other North Carolina sheriffs and clerks. E-courts expanded to 12 new counties this month. Sarah Fields, Celine Nunez, and Thomas Hayward joined the federal suit as plaintiffs just 2 days ago. All 3 were held at the Mecklenburg County Detention Center last year, cleared to be let out, and waited because of an integration defect between 2 pieces of e-courts software, according to the complaint. For Fields and Nunez, that meant more than an extra day behind bars. Hayward spent more than an extra 14 hours, he said. Fields got booked for charges of communicating threats and simple assault, Nunez for financial card fraud, and Hayward with assault on a female. The waits are unusual. When a person is arrested, courts set conditions for release. Once those conditions are met, an inmate is supposed to be let out quickly. Before e-courts, it took about 2 to 4 hours in Charlotte. Mecklenburg County resident Alan Sifford joined the suit last year. Sifford said he was arrested over a 14-year-old dismissed warrant and spent 2 days in Gaston County's jail. He said that e-warrants, which are a piece of e-court software that launched statewide here in 2022, the e-warrants were to blame. The 3 new plaintiffs may not be outliers. Reports obtained appeared to show integration defects were frequent in e-court's earliest days in Charlotte. Those reports say there were more than 540 integration failures here in just 12 days in October. Now, integration failures happen when information in one place of e-court software does not match another. One of the inmate's attorneys says the failures in reports mirror issues that led to his clients being detained longer than they should have been. An integration failure report doesn't mean the record is still wrong. It just means that some manual changes had to be made to court records. United States District Court Judge William Osteen hasn't ruled whether the lawsuit can move forward as a class action, said attorney Zach Ezor, an attorney representing the former inmates. If approved, that could open a door to others in North Carolina suing. The News Drive at 5 will continue on with your local headlines. I'm Patrick Reynolds here on WSIC. We'll be right back.
We'll be back with more of the News Drive at 5 with Patrick Reynolds in just a moment. On 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Well, I believe it was B.J. Thomas who said, raindrops keep falling on my head, huh? It's Seems like an appropriate song. Now that rain will continue, and chilly rain too, as we stay stuck in the low 40s heading into this evening. Overnight rain will continue through about sunrise on Saturday before it starts to taper off. Clouds will be thick for a while, but slowly we get some peaks of sunshine back as we warm up into the low 60s Saturday afternoon. Sunday's much more pleasant with more sunshine and mid and upper 60s. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. Stay dry. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. MuralFest is back. April 25th through the 28th at Wilkes Community College. Featuring nearly 100 performers, including Old Crow Medicine Show, Sam Bush, Turnpike Troubadours, the Teskey Brothers, Nickel Creek, and more. Tickets and information at muralfest.org. Listen each morning to Good Morning LKN for your chance to win tickets. Downtown Mooresville's Shamrocks and Shenanigans is on its way. St. Patty's Day is right around the corner. The festival is happening in downtown Mooresville. Attending is free, but there are ticket packages available for purchase. Irish dancers, pipe bands, food, and drinks. March 16th, downtown Mooresville's Shamrocks and Shenanigans is on its way. For more info, visit downtownmooresville.com. Coin collectors, get ready! The Statesville Coin and Currency Show is coming to the Statesville Civic Center March 16th and 17th, featuring over 60 tables of some of the finest coins around. For more info, contact Bill Brewer of Carolina Prospectors in Statesville. The Statesville Coin and Currency Show, Statesville Civic Center, March 16th and 17th. Want to see a Tyrannosaurus Rex? How about a Triceratops? Dinosaur World Live is coming to Kane Center for the Arts, Friday, March 29th. That's not the only fun family adventure coming to the Kane Center for the Arts. Dinosaur World Live, Friday, March 29th. For tickets and to see the entire spring lineup, visit canearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Have an event you would like to tell people about? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
Cold weather is here, but that doesn't mean it has to be cold inside. At G&B Energy, we provide clean and efficient propane to heat your water heater, warm your home, and cook your meals, even when the power's out. We are a family-owned and North Carolina-grown business known for fair prices and expert service. Visit G&B Energy today on Intercraft Drive in Statesville or gnbenergy.com. G&B Energy, home of the $480 Rinnai tankless water heater. Restrictions apply.
Now, back to more of the News Drive at 5 with your host, Patrick Reynolds, on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Welcome back to the News Drive at 5. Patrick Reynolds here with you on WSIC News Talk on this Friday afternoon, March the 1st, 2024, 5:18 p.m. Eastern Time. If you'd like to join the show, we'd love to hear from you. 844-STUDIO-4, 844-788-3464. Please give us a call. WSIC News Talk radio show. Most important thing we do is listen, and that's you, the audience. Call on in. We'd love to chat. 844-STUDIO-4, 844-788-3464. Back to your News Drive at 5 headlines tonight. In Cornelius, a recent substitution of smaller buses on CAT's express routes between Charlotte and Cornelius had some suburban bus passengers unhappy. To make matters worse, the change, which first seemed to be temporary, now appears to be permanent. Express Route 77X, which runs from Cornelius to Center City, Charlotte, had been using larger, more modern motor coach buses for most runs. But during the last 2 weeks, smaller equipment was used on at least 2 occasions, leaving some passengers behind and others unhappy. CAT's commuter Rig Lemmer, who works for a bank in uptown Charlotte and has been riding the 77X for well over a year, said, quote, "There has been a recent trend by CATs to use smaller buses on this route. On Wednesday morning, February 28th at 7:56, the busiest single bus trip on the route this week, we had a regular city bus show up. This is the second week in a row on this particular lot we've had this happen. Not all the commuters were able to get into the smaller bus, causing delays to work schedules and inconvenience to employers, end quote. CATS officials at first suggested there might be some equipment substitutions due to scheduled maintenance. However, a day later, they explained that the larger, more comfortable 500 series express buses have actually been decommissioned due to their age and mileage. Bowen Wakefield from the CATS Quality Control Division said, quote, "The new norm for 77X will be some runs, not all, but some, will be handled by the smaller buses." There is no question that the decommissioned buses were more spacious and comfortable with a large capacity than the local buses, end quote. The express routes, which many passengers board at the Cornelius Park and Ride facility on Sefton Park Road, have attracted new riders to CATS routes, but regular customers are concerned that the substitution to smaller buses might eventually send commuters back on I-77 with their own cars. Said Lemmer, quote, "This strategy seems contrary to promoting express buses as a reliable and safe commuter option, especially with regards to the bigger picture of easing congestion on the main commuter routes, offering a more environmentally friendly alternative and promoting public transport as a viable option. The smaller buses are most certainly not a safe and appropriate choice for express commuter routes." News out of Raleigh. About a week and a half before online sports betting can officially begin in North Carolina, the State Lottery Commission has announced the 8 companies who have been awarded interactive sports wagering operator licenses. Today, March the 1st, people can begin registering early in anticipation of the sports betting launch, which is Monday, March 11th. The State Lottery Commission is the regulatory agency and has now approved 8 mobile sports online betting sites here in the state. Many are eagerly anticipating its arrival. The sports books have spent weeks heavily promoting their arrival in North Carolina, and that has some eager to cash in. As of this week, the state has officially licensed 8 online sports books, including FanDuel, BetMGM, DraftKings, Fanatics Sportsbook, Bet365, ESPN Bet, Underdog Sports Wagering, and Tribal Casino Gaming Enterprise. Betting fan Michael Berry said, quote, "Right now, my preference are FanDuel and DraftKings. I'm open to whatever is available to the state, but right now, looking at FanDuel and DraftKings." Legalized mobile gambling is anticipated to generate an estimated $6.5 billion in its first operating year here in North Carolina. Ripley Rand, chair of the North Carolina State Lottery Commission, said, quote, "Issuing the first interactive sports wagering operator licenses today represents a major milestone in establishing legal sports betting in North Carolina," end quote. Half of the revenue is going to the general fund, and the rest will be portioned out to university athletic funds, the state's major games and attraction funds, and even some going to the North Carolina Problem Gambling Program. Some worry about the way the mobile betting apps look and feel, said Andrew Parker, quote, "If it's mobile coins or whatever, it doesn't seem as real. I mean, if you lose in a video game, it's not as bad as if you lose $200. It's just not very good," end quote. If you win $5,000 or more, online sports books will withhold your federal taxes, but you are still responsible for state taxes. The state taxes gambling winnings at 5.25%. North Carolinians can begin signing up for accounts on their mobile devices today. While deposits into those accounts can be made starting noon, no sports betting is allowed until March 11th. In order to place a bet, you must be at least 21 years old, and you must establish an account with a licensed operator. The commission reports they have received a total of 9 applications for interactive sports wagering operator licenses. They expect to approve additional licenses in the near future. In addition, the commission has also issued 3 full licenses for sports wagering suppliers 18 provisional supplier licenses, and 3 sports wagering service provider licenses. In Atlanta, after nearly 1 week of silence, former Carolina Panthers quarterback and now aspiring YouTuber Cam Newton publicly apologized for his actions in a fight that happened on a 7-on-7 youth football tournament in Atlanta. Newton addressed Sunday's scuffle that was caught on camera and went viral. On Newton's episode on YouTube, he said, quote, "To every single high school player, to every single person of influence, to every single athlete, use my situation as a way to understand that one moment and one decision, your life can change just like that. I let my emotions get the best of me, and it should not have been called for. Simple, and with that, I apologize to everybody affected. That's Steph, that's TJ, that's their organization, that's C1N, my organization. That's my players, parents, and staff members, and when you really debrief from it days after, it really puts things in perspective," end quote. Newton said too many people are betting on him to keep their lights on. Newton continued, quote, "Never mind me as a father. I think about the kids who look up to me and also whether they verbalize their appreciation or just stare in amazement. I feel like I let them down." He continued on saying, "Don't be like me, be better than me. I could play the victim, but I'm not going to do that. I'm holding myself to that same standard," end quote. The now viral video shows Newton wearing one of his custom-made hats, being shoved by 3 people near the top of his set of steps before pushing, shoving, and grabbing moves towards a fence line. The video lasts less than 30 seconds before the fight is broken up by a policeman and event security at the BEST Academy. Newton, who was the #1 overall draft pick in 2011 out of Auburn, does not appear to throw any punches in the video and appears to be fending off 3 other men. There is 1 punch thrown in Newton's direction, but it is unclear if the punch landed on the former quarterback. Newton, who is from Atlanta, runs the C1N, an organization founded in 2021 that focuses on developing young athletes' skills in football by providing opportunities to compete at the highest level through 7-on-7 tournaments and other events, according to Newton's website. The website said the organization's mission is to create an environment that fosters growth and development on and off the field, helping young athletes achieve their goals in football and life. C1N plays in tournaments across the country. Newton's 15 and under team won the championship at the event. Newton hasn't played in the NFL since 2021, when he spent a portion of the season with the Carolina Panthers, the same team that drafted him. In total, Newton spent 11 seasons in the NFL, throwing for more than 32,000 yards and 194 touchdowns. He also ran for 75 touchdowns during his time with the Panthers and the New England Patriots. More news out of Raleigh, with 5 members of North Carolina's U.S. House delegation declining to run this year. Next week's primaries have attracted dozens of Republican candidates seeking what could become extended time on Capitol Hill. Some of the turnover can be attributed to redistricting. The Republican-controlled General Assembly last fall approved districts skewing rightward, prompting Democratic Representatives Jeff Jackson, Kathy Manning, and Willie Nickel to forego re-election bids. Compared to a map drawn by state judges for 2022 elections that resulted in Democrats and Republicans winning 7 congressional seats each, the latest map makes it likely the GOP will win at least 10 of the 14 seats, according to election data. These seat flips could benefit national Republicans trying to retain what is now a fragile House majority in 2025. The News Drive at 5 rolls on. We'll have more of your local, national, and state headlines. I am Patrick Reynolds. We'll be right back.
More of the News Drive at 5 after we pay the bills on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Well, I believe it was B.J. Thomas who said, "Raindrops keep falling on my head," huh? Seems like an appropriate song. Now that rain will continue, and chilly rain too, as we stay stuck in the low 40s heading into this evening. Overnight rain will continue through about sunrise on Saturday before it starts to taper off. Clouds will be thick for a while, but slowly we get some peaks of sunshine back as we warm up into the low 60s Saturday afternoon. Sunday's much more pleasant with more sunshine in mid and upper 60s. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. Stay dry. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Prioritizing your health is one of the best ways to take care of yourself. From routine visits to the joys of pregnancy to the illnesses that stop you in your tracks, Iredell Health System will be by your side. Learn more at iredellhealth.org.
Hi, this is Susan. I'm excited to let you know that Lake Mountain Coffee is now available for private events. Our beautiful historic building with its 360-degree mezzanine has hosted many private parties, catered diners, and even an actual wedding. Please contact Andy at 704-252-1886 for more information. Thank you so much.
Rev up your dreams with a bike from Tilly Harley-Davidson. Whether you're new to Harley or a seasoned pro, Tilly has the bike for you. Come experience the freedom of the ride. Feel the thrill of the road and the thunder that only a Harley can provide. Stop by Tilly Harley-Davidson of Statesville or go to tillyhd.com.
Greece is cheap.
But the airfare costs a fortune.
Paris?
Not much closer, and again, airfare...
What about Puerto Vallarta?
Let's face it, flying anywhere is just too expensive.
Wait, what's this? Low-cost airlines.
With one call to low-cost airlines, you'll drastically slash your travel costs. We're talking insanely low airline prices to any of your favorite destinations. Where would you like to go? London, Rome, Costa Rica, Australia?
Wow, that's cheap.
So why wait? Call now to learn how crazy cheap it is to fly anywhere in the U.S. or international. Our prices are so low, we can't publish them. The only way to get them is to call to instantly hear the most amazing best deals on airline travel. It's that easy. So call now and start packing.
800-869-8560. 800-869-8560. 800-869-8560. That's 800-869-8560.
President Biden recently released a massive $6 trillion budget, the largest budget in U.S. history. And guess who pays the bill? That's right, you, the American taxpayer. American citizens and business owners will be paying more taxes. That's a fact. And if you owe back taxes, they will be coming after you to collect payments. In fact, President Biden also hired thousands more IRS agents to go after you. If you got a letter from the IRS and you know you owe back taxes or you haven't filed in years, don't put your head in the sand. Call us today. We've saved our customers millions of tax dollars. One quick, free phone call will show you how we can reduce your past tax bill and save you thousands. Guaranteed, or you pay nothing. Call now.
800-218-6440. 800-218-6440. 800.
Conversations that matter.
I gotta tell you, I'm afraid to even think about the next presidential election.
Led by you.
It's a mockery of American politics.
This is WSIC News Talk Now.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Whether the abortion pill, mifepristone, should continue to be offered legally is something the Supreme Court will hear arguments about later this month. But that'll be just as CVS and Walgreens will roll out the pill in some of their stores for sale. Both will start dispensing the drug with a prescription within coming weeks in areas where abortion is legal. A victory for the Biden administration's drug pricing plan. A federal judge has ruled AstraZeneca does not have standing to challenge the plan's lawfulness. It allows the government to set prices on some of the most expensive drugs Medicare covers. And new rules about price transparency could disrupt care for thousands of people. It's already happening in New York, where one of the country's biggest hospitals has left United Health Group's private insurance network in a dispute over prices. Mount Sinai says the new policy shows rivals are paid more. On Wall Street, gains of about 0.25 to 1.1%. The Dow rose 91, the Nasdaq 183, the S&P 41. Joan Doniger, Bloomberg Radio.
Call in now to speak with Patrick Reynolds on the News Drive at 5. The dial is 844-STUDIO 4. WSIC. Local starts here.
You heard her. 844 Studio 4 gets you right into the studio here. 844-788-3464. Please join our conversation here at WSIC News Talk Radio. I am Patrick Reynolds. This is the News Drive at 5, and you are the best audience on radio. Coming at you on this Friday afternoon, March the 1st, 2024. 5:35 p.m. on the Eastern Seaboard. Your News Drive at 5 headlines continues on. In Mooresville, after nearly 20 years of planning, a new project is expected to decrease traffic in a growing part of Iredell County. Crews have started construction on the east-west connector in Mooresville. A crowd of community members and stakeholders gathered Thursday afternoon at the Cove Church to celebrate the groundbreaking of the highway, which will eventually create a path between Interstate 77 and 85. Construction for Phase 1 kicked off in January. Crews have already started clearing the area to connect Langtree Road near I-77 to North Carolina 115. Eric Johnson, the facilities coordinator and pastor at the Cove Church, says the church donated 9 acres of land to help bring the project to life. The church's donation is a part of a $6 million investment from landowners in the area. It is a very congested area now, but I do think it's going to be a huge help, Johnson said. In 3 years, 2 years, we'll know how big of a help it was. Mooresville Town Commissioner Lisa Qualls said relieving congestion is essential to economic development and safety. Qualls said, quote, "Our public safety stays very busy because everybody tends to drive distracted these days. So a lot of bump ups and just a lot of frustration. Our key element of having safe and timely travel is really economic development. We want people to live here, work here, and have a good quality of life," end quote. Phase 1 of this project will cost $33 million. The funding comes from state, local, and federal sources, with completion expected by 2026. Officials say they jumped many hurdles to reach this point. Qualls said, quote, "The increase in costs certainly drove some of the delays, as well as COVID. So we had a lot of starts and stops and pullback and moving forward, but finally we're here," end quote. Qualls said Phase 2 will connect North Carolina 115 east to Shearers Road near the intersection with Rocky River Road. Officials are still working to secure the funding to cover the full cost. People living in the community are excited about the project. Pastor Johnson said, quote, "I see the future coming. I have hope for the future, and I see a lot of people being able to have access to this area, and it won't just be the Cove Church here. There's so many other things that are going to be here to bring a nice place to live, a nice place to play, and a nice place to be," end quote. News closer to our studios right here in Statesville. The Statesville Fire Department proudly announces its re-accreditation by the Commission on Fire Accreditation International and the Center for Public Safety Excellence. The recognition reaffirms the department's commitment to excellence in service delivery and its dedication to enhancing the safety and well-being of the community. Since its initial accreditation in 2014, the Statesville Fire Department has remained steadfast in its pursuit of excellence, consistently evaluating and refining its programs and services to better serve the community. The department has undergone rigorous self-assessment processes every 5 years, aligning its practice with industry best practices and striving for continuous improvement. Statesville Fire Chief Glenn Kerfees expressed pride in the department's achievement, emphasizing its significance in ensuring the highest quality of service for the community. He stated, quote, "Achieving accredited agency status demonstrates our unwavering commitment to excellence and emphasizes our dedication to meeting the evolving needs of our residents. This accreditation not only validates our efforts, but also serves as a testament to the professionalism and dedication of our personnel," end quote. Furthermore, Chief Kerfees highlighted the role of accreditation in shaping the future path of the agency, stating, quote, "This accreditation serves as a roadmap for our future endeavors, guiding our strategic planning and ensuring that we remain at the forefront of fire service innovation and efficiency," end quote. City Manager Ron Smith echoed the chief's sentiments, emphasizing the city's commitment to enhancing the quality of life for its residents. He remarked, quote, "The attainment of accredited status by our fire department exemplifies our city's dedication to excellence in public safety. We are immensely proud of the hard work and dedication demonstrated by the Statesville Fire Department in achieving this recognition," end quote. The accreditation process, administered by CFAI, empowers fire departments to conduct comprehensive self-assessments, evaluate performance against safety benchmarks, and implement strategies for continuous improvement. By voluntarily participating in the process, the SFD reaffirms its commitment to providing exceptional service and ensuring the safety and well-being of the community. With this reaccreditation, the Statesville Fire Department joins a select group of approximately 312 agencies worldwide to achieve internationally accredited agency status, further solidifying its position as a leader in the field of fire service excellence. In Charlotte, the Carolinas' first professional rugby team will compete in their inaugural match this Sunday. Anthem Rugby Carolina was announced as Major League Rugby's 12th team just 5 weeks ago, and they'll compete against other Major League Rugby teams in the 2024 season. Said team captain Jake Turnbull, quote, "It's extremely exciting, obviously. It's the first time Major League Rugby has come to Charlotte. It's a really exciting prospect," end quote. Though players and coaches expressed excitement about the new team, they're also climbing an uphill battle. They've only had 5 weeks to practice together, and their first game will be against the reigning league champions. Head coach Alama Larimi said, "We realize it's a big challenge. We're playing the champs, obviously, and we're the new kids on the block," end quote. But being the underdogs has kept the fresh team from forming a unique bond. Said Turnbull, quote, "A lot of these guys, they're young, they're really hungry. Their whole DNA is just trying to bring grit. Our backs are against the wall, and I think that's a really fun place to be," end quote. The coach also coaches for the USA Eagles, the country's national rugby team. He says part of the purpose of Anthem is to find and develop athletes to advance to the Eagles potentially. Said the coach, quote, "From our point of view, some of these players haven't had a lot of rugby in their lives, so it's important that we make sure it's safe for them to play. But then also it's about accelerating their learning about the game, and there's no better way to learn than actually getting amongst it," end quote. Until then, the team will focus on earning wins and increasing rugby's fan base in the Carolinas. Added the coach, quote, "For us, it's really about connecting with the community, but most importantly, that we play well. We really need to play well to bring the fans in and play well for each other. Hopefully, our culture rubs off into the community and into the local fans here," end quote. Anthem will host the New England Free Jacks at 7 p.m. on Sunday at Memorial Stadium. In Statesville, the Rotary Club Fourth Creek has donated $25,000 to the Iredell Health Foundation. The donation is earmarked for converting the family waiting room of the birthplace at Iredell Memorial Hospital into a family resource center. The transformation to the birthplace will provide a waiting area that will accommodate those who need a space to relax, have a meal, or even work remotely while their loved one is a patient of the hospitality's maternity unit. The News Drive at 5 continues on this Friday afternoon with more headlines, local, state, and global. I'm Patrick Reynolds here on WSIC News Talk. We'll be back right after this.
Stick around for more of the News Drive at 5, coming up on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
said raindrops keep falling on my head, huh? Seems like an appropriate song. Now that rain will continue, and chilly rain too, as we stay stuck in the low 40s heading into this evening. Overnight rain will continue through about sunrise on Saturday before it starts to taper off. Clouds will be thick for a while, but slowly we get some peaks of sunshine back as we warm up into the low 60s Saturday afternoon. Sunday's much more pleasant with more sunshine and mid and upper 60s. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. Stay dry. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. Merlefest is back. April 25th through the 28th at Wilkes Community College. Featuring nearly 100 performers, including Old Crow Medicine Show, Sam Bush, Turnpike Troubadours, the Teskey Brothers, Nickel Creek, and more. Tickets and information at merlefest.org. Listen each morning to Good Morning LKN for your chance to win tickets. Downtown Mooresville's Shamrocks and Shenanigans is on its way. St. Patty's Day is right around the corner. The festival is happening in downtown Mooresville. Attending is free, but there are ticket packages available for purchase. Irish dancers, pipe bands, food, and drinks. March 16th, downtown Mooresville's Shamrocks and Shenanigans is on its way. For more info, visit downtownmooresville.com. Coin collectors, get ready! The Statesville Coin and Currency Show is coming to the Statesville Civic Center March 16th and 17th, featuring over 60 tables of some of the finest coins around. For more info, contact Bill Brewer of Carolina Prospectors in Statesville. The Statesville Coin and Currency Show, Statesville Civic Center, March 16th and 17th. Want to see a Tyrannosaurus Rex? How about a Triceratops? Dinosaur World Live is coming to Kane Center for the Arts, Friday, March 29th. That's not the only fun family adventure coming to the Kane Center for the Arts. Dinosaur World Live, Friday, March 29th. For tickets and to see the entire spring lineup, visit canearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Have an event you would like to tell people about? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
I love your new outfit.
I got it at Diamond Mine Apparel and Accessories. They have a wonderful selection of ladies and men's apparel.
Where are they located?
920 Davie Avenue. Their hours are Wednesday through Saturday, 10 to 6. Diamond Mine Apparel and Accessories.
Honey, the heat's off.
Call Duncan Heating and Air Conditioning at 704-872-2431. They offer quality American Standard heating systems. Duncan Heating and Air Conditioning, 704-872-2431.
It's the News Drive at 5 with Patrick Reynolds on 105.9 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Welcome back to the News Drive at 5 here on WSIC News Talk Home on this Friday, March the 1st, 2024, 5:48 p.m. Eastern Time. We got a little bit of time left. If you'd like to call up and chat, phone lines are open. 844-STUDIO-4, 844-788-3464. Back to the News Drive at 5 headlines tonight. In Lake Norman, 2 local girls are among a select group of high schoolers nationwide nominated as student visionaries by the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Both are competing in a 7-week fundraising effort to become Student Visionary of the Year. And while there can only be one overall winner, there are new losers in the race to create a world without blood cancers. The LLS is a nonprofit organization that funds life-saving blood cancer research around the world. Its Student Visionaries of the Year campaign is a groundbreaking philanthropic leadership development program for high schoolers. A student can lead their own campaign or form a team with up to 3 members. From there, the candidate or team of candidates recruits a team of ancillary members to help with the fundraising efforts. The 7-week fundraising campaign has hit the halfway mark, with a final push coming prior to the Saturday, March 16th grand finale celebration, where the total funds raised by candidate teams within a community, as well as the top fundraising teams, are revealed. Peyton Hawkins, a sophomore at Lake Norman Charter, was introduced to the competition through her older brother, who participated as a team member on a friend's campaign a few years ago. Hawkins said of the inspiration behind her campaign, known as Team Fund the Fight, quote, "I want to really make a change, especially for kids, to give them the best chance to live out their hopes and dreams," end quote. A member of the Lake Norman Charter girls swimming and diving team that won the 3A state championship last month, Hawkins doesn't take for granted the fact that she's been blessed with good health, allowing her to pursue the various activities she's passionate about. Therein lies her motivation, with the research funded through the LLS potentially allowing cancer-stricken children the opportunity to one day do the same. While the LLS concentrates on blood cancers like leukemia, lymphoma, Hodgkin's disease, and myeloma, its impact extends further. Cancer cells in the blood are easier to access and study than those in solid tumors, meaning that many pivotal discoveries related to other forms of cancer originated from LLS-funded research. Hawkins said, quote, "My grandmother and 3 of my aunts have passed away from breast cancer, so knowing that LLS funds other types of research was a big inspiration as well." Fundraising started in January, with Hawkins exhausting many different avenues in an attempt to secure donations that will help her reach her goal of $100,000 in support of LLS. She said, quote, "I reached out to friends and family first just to see how they can help. I send out weekly emails with a list of recipients in hope of inspiring them to donate. I also have been reaching out to different corporations in the area. If they're interested, then I set up a meeting with their board and present to them the different levels of sponsorship to see how they'd like to help," end quote. Hawkins is leading her own campaign, although she's been able to recruit friends from school and her various athletic endeavors to assist her along the way. Peyton's mother, Cleopatra Hawkins, said, "I'm definitely very proud of her dedication and the way she's been able to manage and lead her team. She loves to help people. Her leadership qualities have allowed her to not only excel by helping people, but to inspire those around her to help others too," end quote. In addition, Maddie Rizzo of Cornelius, a senior at Cannon School, has been raising money to support the LLS since her 7th grade after losing her mother, Megan, to an aggressive form of leukemia. As a student visionary, her goal is to raise $750,000, which represents $100,000 for each year that's passed since her mother's death. Rizzo said, quote, "For me, the most important thing is that I'm helping people who have cancer like my mom did. I largely am doing it for the honor of my mother because I feel like it's such an important cause that can make an impact on so many people. Seeing her go through that battle really inspired me to raise money and see what I can do to help," end quote. Rizzo wasn't the only student at Cannon School nominated as a student visionary. With campaign teams capped at 3 members and 2 other classmates, Devin Bell and James Terporton, also nominated, the trio decided to come together as Team Checkmate Cancer. Rizzo said, quote, "A lot of our strategy for fundraising has been centered around outreach, so we've hosted a few events. Recently, we hosted an event where we auctioned off art pieces and a couple of local student-run bands played. That helped us raise a good amount of money, and we also did a Top Golf event where we partnered with them and had people purchase bays with the money supporting our campaign. On a smaller scale, for some community engagement, we're selling bags of seeds called Seeds of Hope at the farmers market in Davidson," end quote. While this isn't our first time supporting the LLS, it is the first fundraising campaign of this magnitude that Rizzo has helped lead. Rizzo additionally said, quote, "I've never done anything that required this much outreach. I think the most fun and most challenging aspects have kind of gone hand in hand. I've really enjoyed reaching out to businesses and problem solving to come up with solutions for how we can raise money. That economic component of it has probably been my favorite part," end quote. With the competition barreling towards its end date, Rizzo and her team have a few more community events lined up in the coming days. Friday, March 1st features an all-out blitz day of fundraising at Summit Coffee's Davidson location, with 15% of the proceeds benefiting Team Checkmate Cancer. The team will be at the Davidson Farmers Market selling Seeds of Hope on Saturday, March the 2nd. And then on Tuesday, March the 5th, a percentage of the sales from Chick-fil-A Spirit Night in Cornelius will support their cause. In Cornelius, the Cain Center for the Arts has added 2 completely new spring performances, including one with a strong local connection. Dust Bowl Revival is a totally new show at 8 p.m. on Friday, May the 10th. The performance with a real strong connection is Philip Hamrick, music director at Love Lake Norman, a non-denominational church that meets each Sunday morning at the Cain Center. The Mooresville singer-songwriter is releasing his first album since 2016 with The Tunnel Club, his first solo record as an independent artist. The title track takes listeners on a hitchhiker's journey through the South in the 1940s. He is performing Friday, May 31st at 8 p.m. The Cain Center has added another show for comedian Jeff Allen, whose rapid-fire humor centers on marriage and family. The newly added show is at 4 p.m. April 13th, in addition to the originally scheduled show at 7 p.m. Here on WSIC News Talk, we are coming close to the top of the hour as we are here every weekday at 5 p.m. Also, every weekday here on WSIC News at 6 p.m. Following us is The Scoreboard, hosted by Joe Berg with all your sports information, local, high school, national, in this case, global today. Big sports weekend coming up here. Joe Berg, how are you tonight, bud?
I'm ready to get to the sports because there's a lot of them.
We shouldn't waste time. We should push this right along. Get you there. Of course, the clock's on the radio station, and our commercials don't budge at all. What can the audience expect tonight on The Scoreboard? What's cooking for us?
Well, we got high school basketball playoffs. Round number 2 is today. We'll go over the local schools that will be playing, as well as baseball. Baseball just started.
Mm-hmm.
Still crazy to think about, but it's March now.
How does a student that plays both sports operate like that? Is there a two-sport basketball, baseball athletes out there?
I'm sure there are. I would assume that they're going to finish out their basketball season,
right?
Especially because playoffs, and then right when that's over, you go right to baseball.
So
or tennis or whatever you do for the spring sports.
Right. Are there any sports that are overlapping like that are causing difficulties with students trying to play too? Do you know of any that making any headlines or anything?
Not that I've seen, but I don't remember this from when I was in school.
Yeah.
I did football and baseball, so there was no overlap. You had that winter sports session, so I don't know what it is for anybody playing basketball who wants to also play baseball.
We're going through the old back in my day quotes makes you and I sound like old guys.
Well, there's a couple of schools in the playoffs still, so most of these schools are done with basketball. They've been eliminated from the playoffs.
Okay. I just here's how my memory goes: is one sport would definitely stop, and then you'd have the next sport start up with tryouts or practices.
Not anymore.
Or whatever. Not anymore. No, yeah,
they're good. They're overlapping.
I was boggled the last week of February. You're talking high school baseball. No, you're reading that wrong. It can't be baseball. Yeah.
We just finished football. How could it be baseball season?
Why not? Hey, we're selling Christmas decorations in October and September now, so why not push high school sports along?
You're going to see Halloween decorations next week.
Pretty close. Yeah. Usually 4th of July, and then before the end of the month, we see Halloween and fall stuff come up. And
yep.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes. So why not cruise that through with high school sports? All right. Big sports night coming up here on The Scoreboard as there's a big sports weekend coming up. Joe Berg will have all the action previewed for you. Thank you all for coming along for the ride tonight here on the News Drive at 5 at WSIC News Talk Radio. Every weekday, 5 p.m., we give you your local headlines. I am Patrick Reynolds. I will talk to you on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody. Scoreboard up next.